Good evening, Lakshmi Aunty. I am Patsarthi Ghosh from 7B Delhi Public School, and today I'd like to interview you about wellness through yoga. At the start, can you please tell us a little about yourself?
Good evening, Partho. As you already know, I'm your Lakshmi auntie, and I teach yoga to kids and to adults.
Thank you.
You can
So,
continue.
let's start with the first question. Is yoga meant for young children because we already play a lot and generally are quite active?
Yes, yoga is meant for each and every person, even children. Yoga does not only mean physical practices. Physically, children are very, very active. Not everybody, yes, most of the children are very active. So there is a misconception that yoga is not needed for young children. However, yoga is just not physical practices. It creates healthy habits like waking up early in the morning, or you have to take a bath as soon as you wake up and to do all the other activities before you start the day. And it also gives you strength and flexibility. And yoga also means that you have certain do's and don'ts in your life. Especially young children will have to remember a few do's and don'ts. They need not have to remember, but it has to be taught to them very early in age, like the yamas and the niyamas. All these are the do's and don'ts of our daily living. Like, for example, yamas are ahimsa. Ahimsa, we already know it means non-violence, which is a integral part of yoga practice. And we also have satya. Satya is to always speak the truth, so we need to do that. And we have astheya, that means we should not lie. We should not lie, or we should not steal. We should not steal. That is astheya. And we have brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is celibacy following a certain discipline. That is brahmacharya. And aparigraha, that also means not to accumulate things. All these are basic things which we are supposed to learn during our childhood. We also should remember that we need to be happy. That is santosha. Santosha is a part of the niyamas. Santosha, shaucha. Every child should know how to keep themselves clean and keep their surroundings clean. That is also a part of yoga. And we have tapas. Tapas means your focus and concentration. Every child needs that. Okay. And we also have tapas swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is reflection. When a child goes through a whole day, like he goes to school, he or she goes to school, they come back, they play, they have other activities. So at the end of the day, we need to have a reflection session. So that is also a part of yoga practice. So all these are an integral part of yoga. It's just not physical yoga. So of course, yoga is meant for every child. One last thing, Ishvara Pranidhana is also a part of yoga practice. That means surrender yourself to the Supreme. Once we learn that from the initial ages, then we'll be able to understand that in full during our maturity years.
Wonderful. So, the second question is, what are the different types of yoga practices? Which of these is most suitable for children of my age group?
Okay. Different types of yoga practice. Actually, there are no different types of yoga practice. However, the physical practices are, grossly bifurcated as hatha yoga, vinyasa yoga, power yoga, restorative yoga, and therapy yoga. There are many, many hundreds of types of yoga that way. Hatha yoga is to keep a balance. We just do practices like breathing, we do practices like asanas, the physical postures, to keep the balance of the breath and the body, and the balance of the right and the left nostril. So that is hatha yoga. Power yoga, vinyasa yoga, all these practices are to build strength and flexibility in the physical body. So that is another type of yoga. And we have restorative yoga. In case there is a problem with the physical body, or we need to recover from a certain illness or disease, then we can practice any kind of restorative yoga, or we can practice therapy yoga, which will help us target a particular organ in the body and help us recover from a certain illness. Those are different types of yoga. And for young children, any kind of yoga can be practiced, depends on our requirement. See, if you are wanting to practice yoga for just to be happy and gay, and you don't need to build strength and flexibility at this point in time because you're already like that, so you can simply practice hatha yoga, which is a very balancing form of yoga. Some certain asanas are there, breathing practices are there, so you can practice these forms of yoga. Vinyasa yoga, when you become an adolescent, you can practice that to get more strength in your physical body. So that is physical strength and stamina. So you can practice that kind of yoga. So, and mothers can practice yoga with their children, so that they actually have a nice connect with their children. They are able to discuss about yoga practices. So yoga practices for everybody, especially children. It is required because you need to maintain your calm and peace during all times.
Thank you. So the third question is, what is the best time to practice yoga, given that we leave for school early morning each day?
Good. Yes, this is a question we have these days because the school starts really early in the morning. We can practice asanas. I'm talking about physical postures anytime, keeping in mind that our meal is at least 3 hours. Our meal, the gap between the yoga practice and the meal is at least 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours. So we can easily, children can easily practice yoga in the evening after their school hours. If they have had lunch in the afternoon in school, they can have a small snack at around 3 in the afternoon, or 4 in the afternoon, and they can very comfortably practice yoga between 6 to 7. They can practice. However, before going to school, if they have a few minutes to spare, they should practice deep breathing, which is very important because children are more prone to accumulation of mucus, and they have problem with sinus, or they have problem with cough and cold. So it's good to practice deep breathing in the morning, which will not take more than 5 to 10 minutes. And in the evening, they can practice physical postures.
Awesome. So, which asanas can you suggest we do for daily practice? Do you have a website or channel which the viewers can follow?
Okay, the asanas which the kids should follow. See, kids can do all kinds of practices. They are much flexible than adults, so they can do the practices. However, for kids, growing kids, like if you are in the age of growing, like till you are 18 years old, so you can practice Tadasana, that is a tree pose. You can practice Tiryak Tadasana, that is a swaying palm tree pose. And you can, these two practices, Tadasana and Tiryak Tadasana, helps the child grow taller and stronger. So these two practices are a must for any child. And Kati Chakrasana to keep your spine very supple and healthy. These three practices are a must. And all the animal postures, like your camel posture, like your cat posture, like the dog posture, all these practices are fun to do. So these practices can be done by any child. One particular asana should be kept in mind because all children in their age between 3 or even younger to about 8, they are more prone to cough and cold. Their lungs are still developing. So Matsyasana, the fish pose, is one pose which is very important to keep the lung health, the respiratory health. So these few postures, like animal postures, like your fish posture for your lung health, and Tadasana, Tiryak Tadasana, and Kati Chakrasana for your spine health. So these postures, which can be practiced after 2.5 hours to 3 hours of your meal, it can be comfortably done. Partho, you can watch a few videos which I have uploaded on YouTube. You can subscribe to my channel Lakshmi Belaguli, and I can actually give you a brochure which actually gives all the information as to what all is included in our yoga practice. I also take online and offline sessions, and you can be a part of it in case you're looking for any kind of yoga practice specific to any health condition or otherwise also. You can follow the Facebook page, Samatvam Yoga. I also have uploaded some pictures there, and I have given some information about the particular asana which I have shown there. So these are the two places you can actually, check for updates on our yoga center.
Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much, Auntie, for giving your valuable time to our show. And thank you so much.
You're most welcome, and it was nice to be on your show.
Thank you.